Hello YouTube, this is Tammy Pie and I'm back with another video. This is going to be a VR to my friend Simon over at the Hermit's Cave, and it is the top 10 Oracle decks of all time. My top 10 Oracle decks of all time. And I think I have a few different ones. I've seen some, of course, Simon has the most beautiful collection. I just was watching Martin's Musings, and I've seen a couple other ones, and I think some of mine are a little different from theirs. So that's nice. I like to be able to offer something new. Also, man, I just got in my new Sacred Elephant incense, and it is so yummy. They put out this new extreme. Delicious. Okay, so back to Oracle decks. All right, Oracles is a little different from Tarot, right? Tarot is kind of an oracle, but it has a system that we stick to mostly. But Oracle can be a bunch of different things, and for a long time I was kind of a snob about it, and I thought, I don't even want to really look at the Oracle, and because of that I probably missed out on some really great decks. I think I'm going to show you my very favorites at the end, maybe. I don't know, but some of these are used for just completely different things. So the first one I'm going to show you is this little animal deck that was done by Jamie Sawyer, and I think she still has some of these. In a world where I could have anything I wanted, I would want these in their tile form. But I am really happy to have it, despite the fact that it's a round deck. It's a good size round deck. It's the kind of round deck that fits right in my palm. And when I want to look for animals, like for instance, if I need to draw animal energy in, say, if I get animal energy in my journey tokens, or sometimes in my walks I will see animals and I'll go to these decks to kind of refresh. And of course there's always Google, which is the metaphysical meaning of, say a groundhog or a ground squirrel. But these are Jamie's artwork, and I particularly like them because they're kind of animals I might actually see. I mean, not a red panda or an actual panda, but certainly a lot of them are familiar creatures, and creatures that you might see in other decks, but not always. I also particularly love this deck because it is a collaborative work between Jamie, see them all the time, and her house cat, very common, and her mom, Gail. And I like that. I like when people can do these are everywhere where I live. People can do these kind of collaborative things with friends or with family, or even with the community at large, our YouTube tarot community. This is a very friendly animal deck to me. And I have a couple other ones, but this one's my favorite, even though it's round. And look, it came already edged. How cool is that? I think it did. I don't think I had to edge this. Could be wrong. Yeah, so that one is my favorite animal deck. So we want to follow that up, I guess, with my favorite plant oracle deck. And that is the Dirt Gems. I was watching a fellow YouTuber do a kind of a deep dive on this, and boy, I just nodded along the whole time. This is very unusual artwork in the first place. It feels a little bit like collage, but it isn't. It's painted, I want to say, in watercolor. And it has the name of the plant. The plants are divided into suits, which is interesting. So this would be the air suit. Water. Fire. And I don't know that I use the suit so much, but the write-ups in the guidebook, I think people who suffer in life in some way, I mean, we all suffer in some way, but people who really go through the shit and come out on the other side oftentimes have like these great insights. And when you couple that with people who are studious, well-read, and again, this is a collaboration between a couple of people. So the write-ups in the guidebook are very wise, I guess is what I'm coming around to. So even if I only draw 1 or 2 cards, I get like these readings that are long and deep, and which connect well with other decks. With isn't that gorgeous? I mean, and then the beauty of the artwork really is something to be seen. It's got these nice shiny gold edges. This is the indie version, but from what I hear, the mass market is really good too. And I think the words are the same. Okay, I am going to segue over to this little baby. I don't know if she's printed this differently, but this is it's got a little magnetic box. It's a very simple, kind of tiny, if I were to compare this to the Squid Cake Marseille, it's smaller. So this is a super pocket oracle deck. And I've probably used this deck more than I've used any other deck in the whole collection. It has these nice rainbow backs. One of the first decks I ever had that had this mellow gold edging. And these are just kind of wise sayings in and around money. So these are the Money Magic Manifestation cards by Ethany. And it's just smart little things that you can put up anywhere on your altar to give you a better attitude and a better kind of maturity around finances and the magic that is, money is such a weird thing. It only works because we all believe in it. It's something that we all have to deal with. I mean, I guess you could sock away in the woods and grow your own food and live off grid and all that. I mean, I've known people that have done that, but that's hard. That's a hard life. So money is something that is in everyone's life, and we all have kind of a weird relationship with it. So I love that deck. Money, Magic, Manifestation cards. Okay, where are we going from here? Okay, I'm going to go with, and I got this in a trade 2 years ago, I think. But I had been looking at it because it's just really this really beautiful kind of turn of the century artwork. And I knew it was going to be a love oracle, which, we're all dealing with love all the time, right? So, but this is actually a really useful addition to love readings. It's all different aspects of a romantic relationships. This is, what is it called again? Amor et Psyche Oracle. Hang on, where's my, here they are. And the author is Georges Barbier and Rachel Paul. And it's a Los Carabeo. So when doing a love reading, which, we all get them. We all have that friend that calls and says, what about being so-and-so? Or how am I supposed to deal with this as far as my boyfriend goes? Or that guy I super like, he doesn't seem to be responding. What's the problem? He's not calling me back. Will he ever call me back? That kind of thing. And I find it just kind of right on point all the time. So Amor et Psyche, great love oracle. All right, where do we go from here? Let's look at a deck I think I've mentioned before. This is the Mildred Payne's Oracle of Black Enchantment by Patrick Valenza. And I unboxed this deck at midnight on a full moon with candles going, and boy, it it really is one of those things that entertains the heck out of people who like to be scared. And that's me. Look at this. But the reason I got this when it first came out, I thought it was going to be like this super exclusive thing that's kind of shiny. I liked the Oracle in its first iteration, but I really liked it with the red. And it goes so well. I mean, sometimes you just get an Oracle because it's a perfect pair with a certain deck. And the deck, of course, is Trionfate della Luna. I just have the regular Italian version. And these two decks really work together very well. It's the same kind of 16th, 17th century, this cool kind of woodblock looking artwork. And actually, I've used this with other decks, and it pairs quite well. And the artwork is really intuitive and useful. So a deck that I got kind of almost as a joke to myself ended up being like a really pretty, useful, intuitive, good match with other decks. I really like it. I really enjoy this deck. Okay, so we're getting to some of my very favorites. And this, oh, what was her? It's a YouTuber that doesn't make content anymore. I saw her get this, and this purchase was all about the printing technique. So since then, they've reprinted this, had a Kickstarter, and did it on regular cards. But this oracle is the Bird of Prey oracle, and it's just black and white, and it's all this artwork that is kind of spooky looking, you know, palm reading, that kind of stuff. Vitriol. It's a bunch of occult symbolisms, but also kind of biker tattoo art, kind of rock and roll art. But this print, let's see if I can get my camera to really get it. This is on very heavy art paper, and it was done on an old print machine so that the ink, the black ink, is pressed into this paper. So it's very tactile. And Bird of Prey does clothing and pins and patches. I've always wanted to get some of their t-shirts and stuff. And it's a lot of fun to pull a card with this deck and just kind of get into whatever symbolism it is. There's the hurt hand card. And just play around with it. You know, the thorns. So I don't like pair it with a lot of other decks or anything. I basically just pull this out to touch it and to, you know, have my own special romance with the print quality and whatnot. Oops, so much for that. Broken rubber band. Okay, so these are my top oracles. These are is this the last four? I think so. These are the ones I've used the most, that are the most useful to me. And this one is Kelly at the Truth and Stories Journey Oracle. These are the full-size cards. I actually have used the tokens the most, but this is about oracle decks, right? So I've edged this a little bit in kind of browns to match the back, which looks like it's made of wood. And I love this oracle because it's very natural. It's very much a nature-based system that pulls, that is such a good addition to any tarot, any oracle, Lenormand, any card system you have. You can add this to it and it will fine-tune the reading. I love the painting she did to the underworld. So this is a tree, right? The underworld is the roots. Ugh. And it's very, very primal. Very primal. I put this with the primordial dreams, and it was beautiful. It was perfect. Okay, so that is Kelly at the Truth and Stories. You can find her at truthandstory.com. That's her journey oracle system. But to me, the tokens are really that's the prize. Okay, so, and this is another one that's it's a tricky one because you have to, you don't have to anymore, because I think Benabel has since kind of redone this. This is the I-Ching Oracle. This is one of my paintings. I think my daughter has this one. This was plants that were at my doctor's office. I did it in soft pastel. But this is the I-Ching Oracle that she put out with her class, I-Ching and the Practitioner, which I took years and years ago because I loved I-Ching. That was my first divination tool. I had the yellow book and the yarrow stalks, and I walked around with them for years and years and years. I threw I-Ching every single day in the morning, and I used it a little bit as divination, but also just as common wisdom, to enhance my life. And since she did the book, I forget what the name of the book is, but Benabel's new I-Ching book, she's revamped the I-Ching deck, and I think you can just get it off her website, and then you can print it on make playing cards. So it's a great deck. And if you know I-Ching, when you throw I-Ching with the pennies or the rice or the yarrow stalks, you get a change. And with the cards, you won't get a change. However, if you take one small little 6-sided die and throw that on top of your card, you can get the change. And when you change the line, because each hexagram has 6 lines, right? When you change, say, okay, I'm just going to pull one of these. So you got your hexagram. You throw the die, and the die comes up 1, and you would change that line. The first line is always the bottom. Then you write it down, and you find what hexagram it changes to. Okay? I'm not going to get too deep into the woods with that because, right. All right. So that is the I-Ching deck by Benabel Wen. What do we have left? All right. So I'm going to cheat as I've seen others cheat and call these one deck, because I feel equally, I guess I feel closer to this one because I've had it for longer. But man, these are so good. So we have the Archetypes by Kim Kranz. And of course, I've written all over them and edged them and stretched out the cardstock and put shuffling powder on them. And I'm considering doing a little soap treatment. Maybe not with these that already have the shuffling powder on them. But these archetypes, they're in everyone. Okay? We all have this. We all are this. So the closer you get to the deck, the more it means to you, the deeper you'll feel it. Okay? So the archetypes and alchemy. Same thing. This is a process that anyone can work through. Alchemy is in us all. The depth to which this oracle works for you just depends on how much time you spend with it and how far you go with the process. Brilliant decks. Just the coolest thing. And last, is this the last one? I guess so. It doesn't feel like 10, but man, this deck has taken me, and this again is 2 decks in one. And this is Melissa Lucia's Oracle of Initiation and her Deep Play Oracle. So this is it's a large version of it. I'm sure she has these still for sale. And the photographs are all hers, and they are of 77,000 photographs she took. That's the deep play part of the oracle. And this oracle is a journey into saving yourself. Along with the archetypes and the alchemy, this is a different kind of alchemical journey. This is really great for grief work, and I used it that way. It was her grief work. She lost her husband to cancer, which was the what do you call that? When something makes you do something that is fabulous and amazing. But the book that she wrote that goes with the Oracle of Initiation also has a whole bunch of input from people you and I may be familiar with, famous people. She connects the cards to gods and goddesses, and it's just an incredibly wise, beautiful piece of work that in my collection sits in really high regard, and that is probably my top oracle deck of all time. But those are my top 10, and if you stayed to the end, thank you for coming.